Happy New Year. It's 2026. And you know what? 2025 was a pretty good year for me. I'm very thankful for that. And I am confident that the trend is going to continue upward. I really feel like 2025 was the year things really started to turn around for me. The 5, 6, 7 years before that, oh man, that was a journey. A journey of adversity and opportunity to choose to grow or choose to keep repeating the same patterns and to just stay stuck. And I did not want that. And so this upcoming year, 2026, I want to talk about, I made notes. I'm going serious with this video. Because I want to include you in this, because one of my favorite expressions in life is a rising tide raises all ships. I don't see the world as a zero-sum sort of game where if I win, someone else loses, or if someone else wins, I lose. That's not how things work, especially when you're collaborating properly. Collaboration's on my notes. I'll get to that in a minute. And so, I want to live in a way where when I do better, those around me are doing better. And that's how we build a really good community, in my opinion. And so together, 2026, how we're going to manifest more abundance, the first step, gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. I had to say it 3 times just to really reinforce the importance of finding the ability to be thankful throughout the chaos and throughout the adversity, because nobody likes being around a grumpy Gus. And it just really makes me think about myself a few years ago when I was working with this crew that I've been with on and off for the last several years. Over the last year, I've become a routine, consistent member of the crew. I'm getting 24 to 34 hours a week, it's good. I mean, I'd like 45, but that's not how they operate. So within how the business structure operates with this general contractor and the way things are going, if I get 30 hours in a week, I'm happy. Some weeks I don't get that many, and some weeks I get a little more, so my goal is 30. And it wasn't always that way. It started with me getting 1 or 2 days every here and there, every week or 3 weeks, or even, there'd go months where I didn't have any work with them, partially because I wasn't skilled at the time. So I was a entry level laborer, somebody who just moves wood around the job site and who supports the skilled tradesmen. And there was a point where I was really grumpy and I was just not pleasant to be around. And I knew that, and I knew that that was holding me back. And so I made a conscious decision. I tried so hard to improve my mood and the energy that I was giving out. And I feel like that really helped the crew want to keep me around more and want to include me more and want to invest in me more, because I wasn't just a negative, dark cloud of abyss and anger. I was humble. That's one of the words underneath my gratitude, humility. So I really, because I have a master's degree and I had this corporate job and I had a great life, materially speaking, you could say. And so I lost all of that, and I was starting at the bottom when I used to be on the top. And so really learning humility was huge. I just was honest with the guys, and I was like, I don't know pretty much anything about this, but I want to learn. Teach me everything you can, please. And these are great guys, man. The crew is just awesome. And that's what I did. I was humble, and then I worked really hard. They have all these nicknames for me, like Muscles, I get that. But then also like the Gringo Mexcavator is one, because I will just dig a trench and I will have it done a lot faster than you think I will, because I will just bust my ass. So hard work is another one under the gratitude. Being thankful for the opportunity to work. Might sound counterintuitive to some of you lefty types, but let me tell you, showing gratitude for the opportunity to work will get you more work. And more work is the way that you can manifest more abundance, especially when you compare that more work with more skill, because then you can charge more. Skill is developed over time. More work leads to more skill. So all of that cycle, you just got to really invest in it. And then the last little bit on the gratitude note, love. I love the guys on the crew. We disagree on a lot, but I love them, and I love this opportunity, and I put love into the work we do, into the houses that we do. We remodeled, tore down to the bones this house. We jacked up this house. We added a floor. We put in heated floors in the basement. Just really, really big job for this woman. It was actually her son who was coordinating it all, but for an elderly Korean woman, like 80 something year old. And I just was like, knowing her and seeing her, I was just like, I'm putting love into this house for her because she deserves it, because that's what your clients deserve. Okay, number 2, sacrifice. So, oh boy, something that I've had to really wrestle with is an attachment to things like I felt I deserved. I had a really big entitlement complex. A big reason for that is, growing up, everyone was like, you're so smart and you've got these degrees and you've, accomplished this, that, and people sort of put me on a pedestal, from a young age. And that sort of really it permeated my psyche, my subconscious. And it told me in a lot of ways, I was like, I deserve a good job and I deserve a good life. And while I do believe you should, in a sense, feel entitled to a decent life, it shouldn't be from this point of deserve. Maybe it's from, I don't know, I'm still wrestling with that, but because I don't want you to minimize your expectations for life, but I also don't want you to project out expectations either. It's tough. But something I ask myself, I rarely use the word need anymore. I try to switch need with want. So let me see if I can get my feet up here to show you. See these socks? Look at those holes. You could say, I need new socks. But me, I ask myself, do I need them right now or do I want them? I just want them because I can get a few more wears out of those socks. I don't need new ones, and I have others, obviously, but multiple of my socks now are beginning to look like that. So sacrifice. I'm smoking less weed, which is good. I think the thing with weed particularly is there are times in your life where you might need it in a large amount. And there are times in your life when things are rolling, you don't really need it so much. And again, that word need, it's more like want. It's more like how can it aid me at this dark period in my life? And then more, and under the sacrifice, more redirection. So when I'm thinking about wanting to spend money on something, I try to redirect it, and it's like, do I really need this item? Am I looking for some sort of pleasure response physiologically or psychologically or spiritually? Or is there a better usage of the funds that would better set me up for the future? So I'm thinking to myself, well, do I need this item? Do I want this item? Or do I want to set money aside for my tractor? Because I'm going to need a tractor I'm going to want a tractor once I pay off my land, which, I hope to do in the next 3 years is my goal. I also need to pay off my van. And so I want to have most of it paid off this year. That's my goal for the van. And so then it's like, do I buy this toy or do I, when I say toy, I mean like power tool, which helps with the job thing. But also I'm at a point where I don't like, between all of us on the crew, we have most of the tools we need, but I still need to build my own personal collection. And so it's like, not right now. We can get by. If we ever need a tool between the crew, my boss, the general construction boss, not the retail boss, he gave me a $300 gift card as a Christmas bonus, a $300 Home Depot gift card, and $200 cash. What did Home Depot get me for Christmas? I got a hoodie. I mean, it's not a great hoodie, but it's a hoodie. But there's no employee discount. There's no, Home Depot gift card. They really don't treat their employees the best. But anyways, I still need to work there for a while, so I need to not. Okay. Number 3, hustle. Hustle. There's no getting around it. If you want to manifest abundance, you got to work hard. And I don't mean work as you have to go punch a clock from 9 to 5. I mean, you have to be investing in yourself somehow. Working hard can mean setting aside a weekend to go do some deep introspective work, some deep shadow work, some spiritual work. That can be considered working hard and hustling. It sounds maybe not, I've used counterintuitive already, but setting aside a weekend to do nothing but analyze yourself, that doesn't sound like work, but it is. It's really hard to be self-critical, in my opinion. And to more people would do it if more people were able to be self-critical and self-compassionate at the same time to allow themselves to grow. So I've got, I have 2 jobs, but then I'm also going to do gig work, and I'm going to continue looking for ways to fill little gaps in my schedule. I'm not trying to glorify hustle culture, but at the same time, the flourishing of humanity, the little bit we've had so far and the lot that we're going to bring to the planet is not going to come without effort. Number 4, perseverance, because adversity is inevitable. You're going to have to push through that when it arises. I'm in a great mood now, but I know in a few months, my van, something's going to happen. I've had this van for like 2 years, and it's been pretty smooth sailing. I know I need to get my brakes done and maybe some control arms and suspension stuff. I'm probably going to have to put $5,000 into this beyond just paying it down at some point this year, which is going to suck, and I know that. But I'm planning for it, for one, and for two, you know what? Like, it's treated me great so far, and I'm blessed, and I'd be very happy if it goes another year without needing that $5,000. We'll see. But eventually, you cannot get away from adversity. But you got to push through. And then the last note, this is a long video, collaboration. Like I had said earlier, a rising tide raises all ships. A lot of the business models of the past are going to go away, in my opinion. Or rather, those of us who are going to build this new earth, we're going to utilize new, more equitable business models. And I use that word, but I promise you I am not a progressive commie, but I do believe we need to be doing better by our partnerships and with our business partnerships. I think, I won't get too far into it, businesses should do a lot more profit sharing. They should do a lot more employee discounts and employee support. But also, those of us building the new earth, we're moving away from corporations. So it's going to be more of the word collaboration. For example, my shirts, I have merchandise. I'm super willing to partner with people to give them what are those called? Promo codes, referral codes, links and whatnot, or maybe I'll host my shirts on their site and we'll split some of the profits. And I want it to be very fair, which however it works out. And I've thrown it out to a few people, like if I go on their podcast and I sell a few shirts in the week after that, splitting the revenues there. But then just thinking of business endeavors more in terms of partnerships opposed to hierarchical structures with a majority of the resources being ran through the top. That's just my personal opinion. More transparency and a more fair distribution of resources. This has been a really long video, but thank you for watching. Check the description because you can find the shirts I just mentioned in a link there. Like, comment, share, subscribe, do all the things, and let me know how else we can manifest abundance in the year 2026. Let's do this. Much love.